What's up, future CPAs? Welcome back. Today, we're jumping into a huge topic for your board exams and honestly, for your whole career, responsibility accounting. This is all about making performance reviews fair and making sure the right people get credit for their work. Let's get into it.
Ugh, you know the feeling, right? You're up all night grinding, one group mate is completely MIA, and in the end, everyone gets the exact same grade. It's just so frustrating, and it's definitely not a fair reflection of who actually did the heavy lifting.
Exactly. Now, just blow that problem up to a massive scale. We're not talking about a simple letter grade anymore. We're talking about huge bonuses, promotions, people's jobs, and whether entire departments succeed or fail. How on earth do you fairly judge a manager in Cebu when the main office is in Manila? That's the puzzle we're going to solve today.
Look, as companies get bigger and bigger, you can't have the CEO signing off on every little thing. It's just impossible. So they have to spread the decision-making power out, and that creates a special kind of structure we need to understand first.
And that key idea is called decentralization. It's pretty simple. It just means the company gives managers of different divisions the power to make their own calls. This is awesome because it lets them move fast and react to local market needs, but it also creates a huge challenge. How do you grade all these managers fairly when they're all doing different things?
To solve that puzzle, there is one simple, super powerful, absolutely non-negotiable rule. This is the heart and soul of responsibility accounting. Seriously, if you only remember one thing for the LXCPA from this explainer, make it this.
First, let's nail down what a controllable cost is. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's any cost a manager can directly influence. So for a factory manager, that's stuff like the raw materials they buy or the overtime hours they approve. What's not a controllable cost for them? The rent on the factory building, because that was probably negotiated by the head office 5 years ago.
And boom, there it is. The golden rule in action. You only judge people on what is actually in their lane. You don't blame the factory manager if corporate taxes go up, right? And you don't give the sales manager a massive bonus just because the engineer has found a cheaper way to make the product. It's all about focusing on what they can actually, control.
Okay, so to put this amazing rule into practice, companies break themselves down into different units. We call them responsibility centers. Think of them like different teams in that group project, where each team has a very specific job.
You got to know these three like the back of your hand. First, you have a cost center. The manager here, like a plant supervisor, is only judged on keeping costs in check. Next up, the profit center. This manager, maybe for a specific Jollibee branch, controls both costs and sales. Their goal? Maximize that profit. And at the top, you have the investment center. This manager, think the head of a whole subsidiary like SMDC, controls everything, costs, revenues, and big investment decisions like buying a new piece of land.
Now, checking up on a cost center is pretty straightforward. Did they stick to the budget? But for an investment center manager who's handling millions or even billions of pesos, it's a lot more complicated. How do you know if they're using all that money wisely? Well, the most popular tool for that is ROI.
Return on investment, or ROI, is the MVP for this. It's a super powerful percentage that tells you exactly how good a manager is at turning the company's assets into actual profit. The higher the ROI, the better the manager is at their job. Simple as that.
And don't let the formula intimidate you. It's really just 3 easy steps. First, you figure out the controllable margin. That's the profit the manager can actually influence. Second, you get the value of the assets they're in charge of. And third, you just divide the profit by the assets. That's it. That's your ROI.
But, and this is a big but, ROI isn't perfect. It actually has a hidden flaw, one that can make even great managers make bad decisions that hurt the company overall. And that's why we have another tool in the box. So you're probably thinking, if ROI is so great, why do we need something else? Well, let me paint you a picture. Imagine your division has a fantastic ROI of 20%. And let's say the company's minimum acceptable return is 10%. Now, a new project comes along that offers a 15% return. Do you take it?
Well, the company would be screaming, yes. 15% is way better than their 10% minimum. But you, as the manager who's being judged on your amazing 20% ROI, might actually say, no thanks. Why? Because adding a 15% project, even a profitable one, will pull your overall average down. And that conflict between the manager's goal and the company's goal is a massive problem.
And this is where residual income comes in to save the day. Instead of a percentage, RI measures the total peso amount of profit a division earns above the company's minimum target.
The magic here is that as long as a project beats that minimum rate, it will always add to the total residual income. So the manager is always motivated to say yes to good projects.
So let's put them head to head. ROI is a percentage that measures efficiency, but it can sometimes make managers shy away from solid projects. Residual income is all about the total pesos, and it encourages managers to take on any project that's profitable for the company. Now, ROI is still great, especially for comparing divisions of different sizes, but they definitely make managers behave differently.
Okay, I know that was a ton of info, so to make sure this all sticks in your brain, not just for tomorrow, but for the next 3 years until you're sitting for that board exam, let's do a lightning fast review. Get ready to screenshot this.
First up, the big ideas. Decentralization is all about spreading the power out. Responsibility accounting is the system we use to track it all, and the controllability principle is our golden rule. Fairness is key. Got it? Awesome.
Next, the 3 centers. Just remember how the responsibility grows. Cost center, just costs. Profit center, costs and revenues. Investment center, costs, revenues, and big money investments. It's like leveling up in a game.
And finally, the 2 formulas you need to know cold. ROI is simply the profit you control divided by the assets you manage. Residual income is that same profit, but you subtract the minimum amount the company expects you to make. Know how they work, and the rest is easy.
So, I'll leave you with this to think about. If you were the big boss, the CEO, and your main goal was to make the entire company grow as much as possible, which tool would you rely on more? The one that pushes managers to maximize the percentage, or the one that pushes them to maximize total profit? Chew on that. That's all for now. I'll catch you on the next explainer.